Hey guys, it's Krista. So today I want to talk about some things that you can do when you realize that your hair has stopped growing. So let's just get right into it. Okay, so I think the first and most important thing you need to realize when your hair stops growing is that it has not actually stopped growing. So we tend to think that our hair has stopped growing when we don't see a lot of difference in the length of our hair. But your hair is always growing all the time. It's always growing. It never stops growing. Your hair just doesn't decide like, oh, we're going to stop growing for like 2 months. Your hair is continually growing. It is always growing. So you need to get into the mentality that your hair is always growing and it has never stopped growing, and that is not really the issue with why your hair isn't getting longer. So once we realize that our hair has not actually stopped growing, we can pinpoint the actual issue with our hair. So let's get into the issues when your hair has either slowed down its growth rate or it is breaking off more, so you're not retaining as much length. So the first thing I would suggest is to start using a clarifying shampoo. I use a clarifying shampoo every single time I wash now, but that is just my personal preference. I co-washed for a very, very long time. And the issue with co-washing is that when you co-wash, you're not removing the products from your hair as well as you probably need to be doing. You're probably getting a lot more product buildup if you exclusively co-wash. So I would add in a clarifying shampoo, whether that's every other week, whether that's once a month, on a regular scheduled basis, so you know at least once a month your hair is getting completely clean, your scalp is getting completely clean, your scalp can breathe. Your scalp needs to be able to breathe in order to put out healthy, happy hair. Having a clean, healthy scalp is really the key to having strong, healthy hair. So the next thing that I would suggest to you is to take a look at your hair care regimen. If you have recently changed your hair care regimen, if you have changed products, if you have changed what you're doing and you realize that your hair is just not either maintaining the same length that it was before or not growing as fast as it was before, look into your hair care regimen and see what you have recently changed and see what could be the core of that issue. I think a lot of people have a tendency to think like if they change regimens or if they start something new, it's going to be better. But I recently discovered that after changing and trying out all these things, my old hair care regimen, like the thing that I started with, the thing that I thought I need to improve, was actually the best hair care regimen for me. So I've now gone back to doing like very simple hair care regimen. So look into your hair care regimen, see if there's anything you have changed recently that could be causing the slow growth or the extra breakage or whatever it may be. And see if that's something you can rectify, see if you need to go back to your old hair care regimen because maybe that was the best hair care regimen for you, or maybe you need to try a different product, or maybe your hair is not being properly moisturized so it's dry and brittle. Look into your hair care regimen and really look at your hair and see what is the problem. I feel like we tend to think that our hair care regimens are perfect, or are they working, or have this mentality like, oh, I'm going to try this new product and it's going to be the best product ever, when it's really just not helping our hair or our hair care regimen at all. Okay, so the next tip I would give you is to look into your lifestyle. Has your lifestyle changed? Were you extremely active before and now you're not as active? That could make a huge difference in how fast your hair is growing. When you're more active, you're going to get more blood flowing throughout your body, which means more blood flowing to your scalp, which means your hair is going to grow a little bit faster. If you were living a very active lifestyle and now you're living a more sedentary lifestyle, that could have a very large effect on your hair growth. And also, were you eating healthier before? Were you drinking more water before? Look at your lifestyle and see if your lifestyle has changed. Like, were you less stressed before and now you're super stressed? That could affect your hair, and that could affect your hair growth, not only in how you're taking care of your hair, but also internally. Like, if you're more stressed, you tend to be less active. You tend to not take as good care of yourself in general, including your hair. All these things could affect your hair in a negative way. So really take a look at your lifestyle and see, did it go from like sort of up here to down here? And that's gonna, saying to how healthy you are internally and externally, because both of those things can affect your hair and how your hair is growing and whether your hair is breaking off. All these types of things could affect your hair. Okay, and the last thing I want to say is if you realize that your hair has stopped growing, the best thing that you can do is to stop trying to change everything, stop trying to try new products, stop trying to, you know, do the most, and sort of go back to being simple and going back to a simple hair care routine and sort of starting from the bottom. So in my recent like simple like 3 product wash day routine and no product hair care routine, which I'll link the playlist for that like up here and down in the description box below. Going back and just starting from sort of day one, like simple, very simple hair care, and sort of working my way up and taking the time to realize what my hair needs. That has been the biggest help to my hair. I really became, which I wish I mentioned earlier in the video, but another thing that could be stopping your hair from growing is your obsession with growing your hair. Like I said, your hair is always growing. So when you become obsessed with growing your hair, which I definitely was, you know, you start trying things that you don't necessarily need. You start trying products that you know, like your hair doesn't necessarily like because you think they're the key to making your hair grow longer. And I definitely became obsessed with growing my hair. So for a while, I'm just like, okay, my hair's not growing, my hair's not growing. I'm checking the length of my hair every day. And you're not going to see a difference in the length of your hair when you're checking it on a daily basis. It's always going to look the same length because you're comparing it to your hair yesterday versus comparing it to your hair last month. So all these things can make a huge difference in whether your hair is going to retain length, whether your hair is going to grow out of your scalp healthy. And a lot of times, the biggest detriment to our hair is our obsession with growing our hair. You know, and that usually causes a lot of the problems with our hair. So, you know, take a step back. I'm trying to, you know, just my hair is super shrunken up right now. I'm just trying to let it be and let it do what it wants to do, and, you know, and stop being obsessed with how long my hair is. My hair is very healthy and I'm very grateful for that. I take a lot of care of my hair. And, you know, like setting length goals is kind of a good idea, but also kind of a bad idea, because unless you like have a good idea of how much your hair grows, whether that's every month or every 6 months, it's gonna be hard. Like if you want your hair to be down to here by the end of the year, but your hair only grows like 4 inches a year and it's only right here, like that's not gonna happen. So when you think, you know, when your hair is not down to your waist, you know, you're gonna be upset. You're gonna be like, oh, what's wrong with my hair? What's wrong with my hair? But then at the end of the day, there's really nothing wrong with your hair. You know, so the overall arching, you know, synopsis of this video is don't be obsessed with your hair. Look into your hair care regimen, see what can be there that has affected your hair. Look at your hair, look at what your hair needs, look at your lifestyle, see if your lifestyle has changed. So many things can factor into why your hair is not growing as much or why your hair is not retaining as much length as it normally is. But you really need to look into your own hair care routine, look into your own lifestyle, look into your own mentality to find the issue. So that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to give it a thumbs up. If you do, random announcement, me and Zach are starting a vlog channel, so that is going to be linked down in the description box below, so make sure you subscribe. We're buying like a drone. It's about to be lit. We're about to travel a bunch. So it's going to be super fun, so go ahead and subscribe to our new vlog channel. And that is it for now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!